Hi, this is a first in a series of videos where we're going to take a look at approaches to playing the blues. In this lesson we're going to look at the blues scale and how to play the blues scale all the way up and down the neck. So let's begin. What we're going to do is we're going to learn this blues scale in the key of F, mainly because I don't want to use open strings. I'm going to try and avoid using open strings for now, so I'm going to start on that F note there, okay? And this is the blues scale. The blues scale is basically the minor pentatonic scale with an extra note. So the minor pentatonic scale is this. It's the root, the minor third, the perfect fourth, the perfect fifth, the minor seventh. That's your minor pentatonic scale. The blues scale, you add the flat fifth. So, and you do that like this. So the root, the minor third, the perfect fourth, the flat fifth in there, the perfect fifth, and the minor seventh. So you've got this kind of chromatic little run there, and then to the octave above. Okay, so that's your blues scale. Then over 2 octaves, starts there again. And then just add the minor third just to keep that caged position. So this is the scale of blues scale in your, what I will call first position. So bear in mind that all these scales are movable. This is F blues scale because I'm starting there on that F root. If I want to play G blues scale, I just move the scale up to there. If I want A blues scale, just move the same scale up to there, and so forth up the neck. And that applies to all the scales we're talking about today. Okay, how to play these. Initially, when you're going through these scales, with your right hand, play alternate picking. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Playing them with an even tempo throughout, up and down. Okay. Once you've mastered that, then practice them with hammer-ons and pull-offs. So so practice both ways because both ways are important. Okay, that's the first position. Let's look at the second position. This time we're starting at the 3rd fret on the 4th string on that F there, and this is the scale. Okay, that's the second position. Moving on now to the 3rd position, starting at the 8th fret on the 5th string. So here we go. Moving on. The next one we start on the same note, the 8th fret, 5th string, but this time with your 1st finger. And then the last one. The last one starts on the 13th fret on the 6th string and goes like this. Okay, and then next is the first pattern again, but up an octave. So, and then it just repeats until you run out of frets, repeating the patterns that you played before. So what that gives us, it gives us the blues scale in F everywhere on the neck. So you've got the whole neck covered once you've learned all those patterns. And you should learn all those patterns. You shouldn't just get stumped in one position. You should be able to play the blues scale on any position, anywhere on the neck, because you never know what key you're going to be playing in and which patterns you're going to want to use. Okay, so it's very important that you learn all those scale patterns. Okay, right then, let's move swiftly on. I'm going to move this up to A, so because I'm more comfortable playing in A. Okay, so I'm going to start there in the 1st position, so I'm playing this. Okay, stuff you can do with this to make it sound more interesting. It's much more, I think it's much more fluid to play with hammer-ons and pull-offs when playing the blues, because this sounds a bit forced and it sounds like I'm practicing a scale. So when I'm sort of improvising with the blues, I'm gonna okay, I'm playing with hammer-ons and pull-offs, so that's predominantly the technique I'm going to use. I'm also going to be doing a lot of bending notes. So there are 3 bends I'm going to show you here. If you'll take this scale, starting on that A there, dealing with the top octave. Okay, now the 3 bends I want you to take a look at are these. The first one, we go root, minor third, perfect fourth, and I'm going to bend from the perfect fourth to the minor third, to the flat 5 rather, sorry. So what I'm doing there is I'm going there, and then I'm with my 3rd finger, I'm bending up and getting a really nice kind of bluesy little phrase going there. Okay, the next bend I'm going to play is on the 2nd string, which I would normally play with my little finger, but I want to bend that note to the next note, scale note up in the pitch, which is the A, so I want to bend that to there, but I'm not going to bend with my little finger because it's too weak, so I'm going to play that note with my 3rd finger, get all those 3 fingers on there and bend that note up to that pitch. Maybe put a little bit of vibrato on that. Now it's very important when you bend that you do bend to the correct pitch. Bending isn't just an effect; it's a way of moving from one note to the next note. There's nothing worse than hearing out of pitch bends. It's a very kind of, it sorts the men from the boys really. The quality of your bending is will define you as a kind of whether you're a good player or not such a good player really, I think, in my opinion. So this is what we've got so far. We've got 2 bends. We've got okay, so that sounds really nice, sounds really bluesy. Yeah, the next one is bend I'm going to do is going on, and on the top string I'm going to bend that note to that pitch, the C to the D. So, which is the same bend on the 2nd string, okay? Okay, so you've got those 3 lovely bends there, and as soon as you play those, they're immediately bluesy. And muck around with those and just come up with phrases. Another word on improvising. What I see a lot of guitarists doing all the time, and this is a common theme with me on a lot of my videos, is that when you improvise, the phrases should be coming from here. So you shouldn't be doing this kind. I mean, that's just a nonsense. That's my hands doing the talking, yeah? That's just rubbish. When you're phrasing, you should be phrasing from ideas that are coming from your head. So the best way to achieve that is to sing what you're playing. And that will help your phrasing to be more like a singer would phrase, for example. Creating short phrases with gaps, answer response type things. Because when you tend to do this, I see guitarists playing like that all the time, and it's not very musical. I don't find that very musical. I want to hear lyrical phrases all the time. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Yeah. Okay, so that basically sums up the blues scale. The blues scale is quite limited in its scope, because when you're playing over a 12 bar, you have to bear in mind there are lots of chords flying. Well, there's not lots of chords, there's 3 chords in its most basic form flying by. And what you're doing is playing by ear and trying to match your phrases to the chords as they move underneath what you're doing. And that takes a little bit of experience, a little bit of time. It is a very crude approach to playing the blues, because you should be aware of the chords as they're going by and be playing notes from the arpeggios and the scales as that's moving by. And then the next video, what we're going to be looking at is looking at more of an approach where you look at the chord tones of the chords within the 12 bar and implementing some of the notes in the chord tones instead of just using the blues scale. Okay, lovely. Well, I hope that was useful. Please tune in next time. Thank you.